Welcome, welcome, welcome to Fitness Focus with Chau, Season 2, grand, I must say, grand finale. And we have here, right here with us, trainer and adventure racer, Sean Carew. Welcome, Sean.
Hi, what's up, man? What's up? Nice
How
to
you
meet you.
doing?
I'm good, I'm good.
All right, so I want to actually start off right away with a hot topic. We have a little picture of you here, right? A little picture of you. So you know how people say, well, how can you be as a trainer? Look at how you look. How can you know how I feel in this body? For a lot of you who are looking to lose weight, well, we have a picture here that shows that Sean definitely actually knows the journey, knows the struggle, and what I would like to ask out of this is what made you decide, you know what, I don't like where I am, I'm gonna get into this whole fitness thing and start working out.
Well, the thing is that. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, but the thing about it is that I was never into fitness. I was never into the gym. I used to play basketball and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And from age 13 to 23, I was like 180.
Right.
I was playing ball right through, and then when I entered the workforce, stopped playing basketball, and then it went from 180 to 185, 190,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up to 235.
Right.
Right. Still didn't really take it on. I mean, when you're sitting on behind a computer for like 6 hours on a good day to 16 hours on a normal day, is, you just kind of eat just normal. So you live a sedentary lifestyle, and that's how it is. Whereas when you like a friend of mine who started working in a gym asked me to come and train, I said, well, I'll come.
Mm-hmm.
But I came, I just kind of went through the motions. So only like that picture was my first year playing mass.
Right.
So I mean, I wasn't ashamed of myself. I was confident in how I was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And the following year, I decided, hey, let me take this thing a little serious. So that's when I decided that I wanted to drop the weight.
Right.
So that was a 6-month period. So I went from 235, which was the picture in white, to 175, which is what my BMR says I'm supposed to be.
Right.
No, sorry, BMI.
BMI,
Sorry.
right.
Yeah, BMI says I'm supposed to be. At that size, I was kind of sick. So I said, no, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Let me see the picture. Let's see the picture again there, Andy. While we put that picture back up, of course, I go through, as I said before, I go through your social media, I have a conversation with you, you send me something, and I see a lot of CrossFit styled training. What drew you to that cross training style?
For starters, it's how I use my body.
Mm-hmm.
So my training style would reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, when I have different clients, different sizes, different fitness goals, different limitations, stuff like that, so I have to be able to give them different things to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can't do it, then I can't give it to them to do.
Right.
Right. So that's why my training style is less, I won't say CrossFit-ish, because CrossFit is one is a brand name, but also
Of
two,
course. That's why I like to say CrossFit style, not necessarily CrossFit.
but two, this is some things that they do in CrossFit that I personally don't think that we need to be doing. Things like the Olympic liftings, like the clean and jerk, the snatches and stuff, handstand walks, handstand push-ups. I can do them, but that means because I can do it doesn't mean that they could do it as well too.
Right.
And then how I train my clients is how they use their bodies, one, and two, it is to make the everyday lives just more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to movements that they would do normally. That's what they do in the workouts themselves.
Right. So you would, I guess you can say, do movements that would, on some level, mimic what your client is doing
Yes.
in their normal day, whether they are a sports person, whether they just want to move around better, that kind of thing. Yeah. That's similar to my approach, to be honest with you. But, I mean, there is a lot of what I would say unconventional training, right? Maybe not CrossFit style, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say that, to me personally, I would see it as well-rounded and complete. And it's like things like I saw you using, I guess, a yoga block as a brace on your chest doing the bench press.
Yeah.
Or even just lying on the floor and doing the bench press,
Yeah, a floor press, yeah.
Yeah. Using TRX, people have realized that, a lot of people, it's either TRX or heavy weights, it's not both. And that, however, you incorporate the TRX, you incorporate the flexibility, you incorporate whatever. What made you decide that you want your range of exercises to be that wide?
Okay, well, we started with the TRX, right? Now, we just came off of the lockdown for the past 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Gyms were closed.
Right.
So what we had to use? TRX. So everything has, every piece of equipment has its uses, right? Now, for me, the TRX is, like when I feel like I don't feel like lifting weights, I'll use the TRX. I'll either do fit in the TRX and do push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the pull-ups on the TRX. I do like arm curls, tricep extensions.
Mm-hmm.
The full works, right? Is something that you can carry anywhere, and you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you're feeling to add a little instability into the workout or force you to actually use your core, because funny enough though is that what you use the TRX for, you can also apply to the bench when you're benching.
Correct.
Or you can apply to your squat or into your deadlift, so, or even your overhead press. So everything has some carryover, but we just don't see it because it's always like a dogmatic approach to fitness. It has to be either X or Y, but it can't be X and Y.
Yeah. I'll say an example of that, for example. An example of that is, say, doing push-ups on there's this thing called the bar path, as you would know.
Yes.
The same bar path that you use with the TRX is the same bar path you would use when you're doing push-ups, when you're doing bench press, when you're doing dumbbell or kettlebell chest press. All of these, the muscles may be taxed a little bit more in one than in another, but it's all using pretty much the same bar path. So that kind of thing is where some of the carryover will be.
But even so, right? If you were into martial arts, for example, the bar path is really and truly how your shoulder moves naturally.
Correct.
When you go from here, when you up in the pocket and push up like this, this is how we go, like that, back down. So it is more like mimicking or kind of following how the body moves naturally, right? So once you understand that, you tend to work backwards from there.
Right.
So it's more akin to kind of following how the body moves. So like, let's say if I have a client, let's say I have 4 clients and all of them want to squat, right? Each one, even though they have different cues that they have to follow in terms of where the chest is in relation to the leg and all that kind of thing. You have to look at, some people have very good ankle mobility, some people don't. Some people are quad dominant, some people are hamstring dominant. Some people,
Right.
so you have to play around with foot placement to see what works best for them,
Right.
as opposed to just say just one thing all the time.
Correct. Oh, Anderson, can we get the ground bench press video while we're discussing this? So actually, I'll say this, right? This is actually one of the things I enjoy about having fellow trainers, where we see eye to eye on certain things. You know, when teaching the squat, the same squat, I always give people a precursor, so to speak, disclaimer, whatever, because I've heard a lot of the time your feet should be this width apart and they should be at this angle, and at the end of the day, this based on your joint structure, your hip structure, your ankle mobility, your knee mobility, all of these
Femur
things,
length.
all of these. One size simply does not fit all.
Now I'll sorry if I'm cut you, but let's say take me for example. Like if you see any of my squat videos or picture of me squatting, my feet are very, very, very close together.
Right.
It's very narrow, a narrow stance, and it's like most people can't squat like that.
Yeah.
So it's I don't tell people go squat like this because this is how I do it. Is because if you try to do that, you end up falling. When you put your toes and you're injuring yourself. So it comes down to what works for you in terms of your body, and as well too. You have to look at femur length. So like your limb length, You have to look at hip mobility, ankle mobility. Then you have to ask questions. What injuries do you have? Do you have an injury to your ankle? Do you have an injury to your knee? Do you have an injury to your back? Okay, what caused it? When last was it? How are you rehabbing? Before you could go into these different things. And then from there, you look at, okay, you can't do a back squat, but you could do a goblet squat, or you could do a front squat, or you could do a box squat, or you could do air squats, which is starting
Body
with body weight.
Yeah.
So it comes down to not having a cookie cutter workout for everybody.
Correct.
You know, that's where I would say CrossFit is more like a class setting where everybody does kind of prescribed weights. They may have the scale version or the RX version, but it's more kind of one thing you're doing right through. You know, so it has to be kind of specific to your body type and what you want to do as well too.
Correct. There is something I want to bring up, actually, as we're talking about the exercise that may be seen as unconventional.
Okay.
I'm tired talking to clients and they're like, oh gosh, I hate to stretch. You do flexibility stuff, you do yoga.
Yes.
You know, I know I do my own stretch class. I used to do yoga, and it's something I'd like to get back into, to be honest with you. But where do you think stretching lies on the list of importance in exercise?
It is, I would say it is just as important as the exercise itself. In that, remember that when you exercise, when you do a bicep curl, for example, right? When you work the muscle and muscle contracts, the muscle gets shorter.
Right.
Right? And you want to, so what you want to do is you want to get the muscle back to full length. You want to get that stretch going. So you want to, plus for me, stretching helps with minimizing DOMs. It also allows me to keep my posture as well too. Because most people, they come in the gym, get a workout in, get a good pump, and then go away and they walk in the gym like, can't move, you know. So like I stress stretching a lot with my clients because, you know, I don't want them to come back the following day and let's say we did chest and back Monday, next day we come in and we're doing legs and your chest sore, back sore, and you can't squat because your chest keeping like this, you know. even though your chest will keep in, well, because your chest is probably the most work muscle in your body anyway.
Right.
So, so just to keep it supple, just able to move, just to have that mobility, because mobility is important when it comes to lifting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? So you need to have good ankle mobility, scapular mobility. Your chest can't be too tight either.
So for those who don't know, I like to have my trainer nerd moments when people use terms and stuff that people may not know about, right? Sean mentioned DOMS. DOMS is delayed onset of muscle soreness, right? Basically, if you've ever done a really, really hard workout, the next day or maybe 2 days after, you may feel pain. That soreness is what is referred to as DOMS. It actually, people used to think it was lactic acid, but if they realize it's not that, lactic acid actually aids in recovery. What they realize is that when you exercise, you create micro tears in your muscle fibers, and those micro tears are where the pain comes from. Mm-hmm. And it goes away as it heals. Now, here's the thing, why Sean is saying that stretching can kind of minimize DOMS. A lot of people don't understand this. As he says, when you exercise, your muscles end up like that.
Yeah.
So basically your muscle fibers form a network like that, and as you tense your muscles, they pull together. As you relax, they pull apart. When you do strenuous exercise, they kind of pull together and get knotted, that kind of thing, to oversimplify.
Yeah.
And that's why stretching is important. When you do like that, you're going to restrict blood flow. And as you all know, blood flow carries oxygen, carries food and whatever to the muscles, and that is absolutely necessary for muscle repair. So when you stretch right after a workout, you are improving circulation to the muscles and therefore kick-starting muscle repair immediately, which means that the next day when DOMS would normally set in, your muscles have already started to repair, and the DOMS would not be as bad if they exist at all. So that's my little nerd moment.
Thank you very much for sharing that and going all in on it, but yeah, so, and plus two, it's like everybody assumes that men don't do yoga or men don't stretch. Mm-hmm. And like when I first began doing yoga, many moons ago, I was the only guy in the class other than the instructor.
Same here.
And everybody keeps saying, well, that's a girl thing, so it's like, but a lot of people don't understand that it helps, because like the objective of working out is to become the best version of yourself, right? Whatever your goal is, whether it's to gain weight, lose weight, maintain your weight, whatever, the objective is to become the best version of you. So do all what you can to become the best version of yourself.
Right. So speaking of that, I realize I like how this is literally, as we talk about something, it literally brings up the next topic I wanted to talk about: men's and women's exercises. We have a video of you. I don't know if I sent that video of you or picture, is it, of you doing glute bridges. I don't remember if it's a picture or video.
It has to be a video or a picture. It could be one of the two.
Right.
The next 2 videos is with clients.
Right. Well, there are 3 videos with clients, but if anything, it's all right.
It's on my Instagram.
It's just a video of Sean doing glute bridge. Now, here's the thing, and here's why I wanted to bring that up, considering what you just said about yoga and stretching, right? A lot of people, because I've realized something, a lot of people, they exercise for aesthetics, not for health and fitness, which is something I try to move away from as a trainer myself, right?
Well,
but
okay,
but so you therefore find in a Caribbean country where everything is about big bottom women, a lot of women do glute bridge, and even American, and as it's spreading, you get people not of African descent, because it started off within this community, and now they want to get big butts also. So all the women are doing glute bridges, and glute bridges are seen on some level as a woman's exercise. So, yeah. I like that one. You know, it's seen as a woman's exercise, and here you are, big hardback man, big strong trainer doing glute bridges, this woman's exercise, and I'd really like to find out your take. I know your take already, but I want you to tell them your take on men's exercises versus women's exercises.
Okay. Well, for starters, other than our reproductive organs, we basically have the same set of muscles. So, what one person does, or one sex does, the same. I mean, the other sex can do the same thing as well too, right? Remember that your glutes, they are important in moving, i.e., walking, running, jumping, leaping, as well as lifting, right? So, a glute bridge, for example, they make your posterior chain, which is all the muscles that are on the back of you, i.e. calf, hamstring, glutes, lower back, lats.
Yep.
They make that entire posterior chain stronger, right? They are good, and power lifters, they use glute bridges as a warm-up.
Yeah.
For a squat and for a deadlift, right? People who do CrossFit, and that's male and female, they do that as well too, for warming up as well too, right? Now, you have to look at, when it comes down to say bodybuilding, and not saying bodybuilding as the sport, but like, we have what we call show muscles. So, you know, the woman will be looking to build the glutes, legs, abs, because that's what, and our body could go to hell. Guys, chest, abs, arms, back, shoulders, legs, short pants for that. I mean, long pants for that.
Right.
So that's where it's at, but a lot of people don't understand that to be all rounded. I mean, so if you're into athletics, that is going to be important. Let's say if it is you don't like doing deadlifts, and any of the other variations like a Romanian deadlift or anything like that, you can do a glute bridge, right? It is great for glute strength. It's great for runners. So saying that is a girl exercise is like a misnomer as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Same with the hip abductors or the time machine thing, right? A lot of people, like, if you ever watch people squatting and their knees cave in a lot,
Yeah.
right? That exercise helps with that as well. To kind of alleviate the cave-in as well. So there are other things that we see as things that we shouldn't do, or about the bro lifters say we shouldn't do, you know, is to actually help a lot in terms of just kind of keeping you moving, you know.
So we had a guest a few weeks ago. She was online because she's Haitian American and living in New York.
Okay.
She's actually a very good friend of mine. Hi, Judine, if you're watching this.
Aye.
And she has a thing. She and I kind of believe the same things, but I like how she puts it. She no longer really talks about exercise and working out. She talks about movement. This
Yes.
is about movement, getting more movement in, moving more, you know?
Yeah.
And it all boils down to living a better life. So, same thing we were talking about, knees caving in. Now, for those who don't know, you know, I'll say this, as you're here as a very knowledgeable trainer, I'll say this. Hybrid Caribbean has been from inception about giving the most accurate information to our viewers, our readers, you know, and especially putting it within a Caribbean frame because, of course, we're from the Caribbean and whatnot, right? There's a lot of bad information out there, and we want to get the right information out to you. So when Sean is talking about, so that's why I get these nerd moments to give you the right information, the accurate information, as complete information as possible. So when Sean is talking about knees caving in, your knees have a bunch of connective tissue in and around them.
Yes.
And that means that your knee is literally supposed to only work one way. forward and back, right? When your knee starts to cave in, you're going to start to put strain on that connective tissue, your connective ligaments, right? And that can cause knee pain, it can cause knee degeneration, it can cause weakness in the knee, which can eventually lead to a major injury. You know, you go in the gym and you're lifting, you're squatting your body weight, squatting twice your body weight, but you're doing it badly. And then you go to play football and you turn and boom, that's it, snap your knee.
I find you said, right? As I say that, just one quick thing. The number one injury, non-contact injury, is tearing the ACL. Right?
Anterior cruciate ligament, look it up.
Right? so as I say, as I mentioned that, yes. I know a lot of people, and because most people, because like, and this ties into your whole thing about moving. A lot of exercises that we go through, right? We always work in these sagittal thing, which is forward and back. I mean, okay, simple terms for those people who think so.
Sagittal plane, forward and back, frontal plane, side to side, transverse plane, rotation. Right?
Sorry, okay.
So if he uses those terms, now you know what they mean.
I try not to be too technical about it. But most exercises, we either go up, down, front, back. There's very few movements where we actually do either a rotation or we go laterally or even in a diagonal setting. So moving is, I tell people all the time, even though I work out of a gym, right? Fitness has different meanings to different people.
Right.
If somebody tells me that, yo, I dance, that's why I keep fit, good for you, right? There is no one way of getting fit, right? If you play football all day long, well, maybe on a weekend or on an evening, and that's what you use, fine. Get fit, get out there, do something, because it's better than nothing, right? Yes, coming to the gym is great. Building muscle is beneficial for men and women. You know, you build muscle, burn fat. You know, you can control your weight. You know.
Also, strong muscles tend to support the joints that the muscles surround.
Yes.
Hey, Judy is watching. Hey, Juju.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, and like, you always hear this notion about women lifting heavy. How you know that they will look like a man after a while. And it's like, one thing, it's something that I always try to, like when I hear it, and I hear it from people who I think should know better, but they say it just to kind of, just to kind of get a kick out of it. I don't know why they do it, but they do. And I'm like, I have never seen a woman naturally put on a ton of size.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this much, when it comes down to like bodybuilding, or like, well, to like aesthetics training, I should say. I wouldn't say bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is a sport. If it is you are genetically predisposed to put on size in a particular area, because we all have that, we all have those tendencies. You know, you tend to not train that muscle as much, because any other thing you do could get it developed. So, you know, you work around that. But to say that lifting heavy will I'm going to get you to put on mass. No. You know, remember that women suffer with osteoporosis, right? So, or brittle bone disease for the layman. And lifting heavy, again, apart from just working your muscle and have the tears in the muscle, you also have those fractures in the bone as well. So, I mean, the denser your bone gets, is the better off you are, right? So that's why you see there's more to lifting than just lifting, if you understand what I'm saying. Right, so.
Yeah. Oh, and for those who don't know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you lift, well, we spoke about muscle tears when you lift. Basically, that's how you get stronger. You damage your muscle, the body says, listen, I don't like this, I need to get stronger. So in repairing, it packs on more material. So the same thing happens with bones. You get microfractures in the bones when you lift heavy, very, very, very tiny. And the body's like, listen, I don't like this, I need to get stronger. And it starts to pack on more material in the bones. And that's how your bones get denser. And as Sean said, by getting denser, you're able to stave off osteoporosis, which women are definitely more prone to than men. So,
and then well, when you also look at it as well, like I always tell my clients as well, don't study the scale that much, because muscle is denser than fat. So you can lose, let's say, a ton of size and only lose like about, let's say, 3 or 4 pounds.
I've actually had clients lose no weight. I've had, I think, one client gain weight while they were getting smaller.
And they're wondering why.
And they're wondering why. I had to explain this exact same to them. The exact same thing to them, sorry.
Yeah, is because we get so caught up with the scale, because the scale is like that be all and end all of what governs us. Now, if it is you have to lose a particular set of weight because of medical reasons, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, scale is just there for reference.
Yeah. So I'll say this, I use the scale a fair amount too, but I use it in conjunction with a mirror, in that my goal, I have calipers at home, I just don't use them, is to estimate my body fat percentage. If I know that I am gaining weight, but my body image isn't changing much in terms of vascularity, and muscular definition and stuff. What I know is that weight I'm putting on is probably muscle, but it also means that I'm not losing fat at the same time, and that kind of stuff, So I use the scale in conjunction with the mirror to get a kind of an idea of what my body composition is as I move along on my fitness journey and whatever, So it's not just a pure reliance on the scale as a lot of people do, and that reliance on the scale actually discourages people because of basically everything Sean said. Muscle being denser than fat, you can be the same weight, you can just lose a few pounds, you can gain weight, because while you're losing the fat, you're putting on muscle at the same time, and therefore the scale is not an accurate representation of the changes your body is going through as a result of a change in activity level and your nutritional habits.
But just to make it simple, right? This is something I tell my clients. I actually use this example, and I actually get it afterwards. It's like, if you put 10 pounds of water in a bottle, and you put 10 pounds of water in a plastic bag next to the bottle, which one looks bigger? The plastic bag, because it's just like there.
Just
spread out. So that's where, I like that's a muscle and body fat, right? Body fat is just like this. Muscle has structure. Has structure, so it has a form. So it doesn't look as big, but it weighs just as much, And like you said, you use the scale and the mirror. I use the scale only to check, well, this is my weight, but I use that in relation to what I lift. So I would know if I am between 195, between 190 and 195, and I'm squatting 3 something. I know I look at that in terms of relative strength, in terms of what I'm lifting in relation to what I weigh, because it's just for me to see like how my strength level is going. So it's more for me to measure my strength as opposed to say measuring like my actual weight. So everybody uses the scale for different things.
Yeah. I just think that the important thing is what you were talking about earlier. The point you made earlier about the over-reliance on the scale as a measurement of your progress. It really isn't, You can use it, for me, as I said, in conjunction with a mirror, so I can actually have a gauge figuring out body fat, or you can use it in terms of figuring out relative strength as you do.
Yeah.
But it's not just this over-reliance on, oh, I'm gaining weight, oh, I'm losing weight, and that's the be all and the end all, you know?
At the same time, then while they're gaining weight, you've gone down 2 dress sizes. But you're not studying that. You're studying the fact, oh, I gained 5 pounds.
So, I actually want to take a break now.
Cool.
We have a little commercial. Before I leave, I want to just respond again to some stuff that Judine said. She said, thanks for bringing up this up. That's the movement thing that we have spoken about.
Yeah.
And she said that there are some important nuances to it in terms of, well, she didn't say in terms of, but based on our conversation, in terms of basically your goals and stuff, where you may be in the gym for certain goals, but you don't necessarily need to be in the gym based on your goals and, you know. So there are definitely some important nuances to it. For now, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to play, 2 commercials, right, Andy?
Cool.
Right? And then we're going to come back with Sean Carew.
Hi, my name is Nikki. I am a massage therapist. I ride horses and I do bowspring yoga. To be good at horseback riding and dressage, which is what I do, it's hours and hours of practice. It's a lot of work with your horse because it's 2 athletes, not just one. You have to be worried about his nutrition, your nutrition, his training, your training. It is expensive, but it's very worth it in the end when you and your equine partner are dancing together in an arena under the lights of the music. It's a lot of fun, but it takes many, many, many hours of training and practice to be good at dressage. So we typically will ride for 45 minutes in a session. Before that, you have to prepare your horse, so it's a lot of grooming, which is pretty physical for us as well. So you have to get the horse prepared, put on your saddle and bridle. You have to get prepared. You need to stretch and make sure your body is limber to get on and start to work, because you need to be as flexible and as pliable as possible so that you and your horse can communicate as best as you're able. Yoga and bowspring has been super helpful in my riding as well, because it definitely helps with flexibility, helps with core strength, so that you're able then to communicate as best as you can with your horse. With your core, you have to give very simple aids to your horse, whether it's with your legs or your...
Welcome back. This is your boy Chau here with Hybrids Podcast, Fitness Focus with Chau, and we are still here with trainer and adventure racer and all-around cool guy, Sean Carew.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to make mention of both of those ad spots that we just had. The first one, of course, is done by our very own creative director and producer, Anderson Mitchell. He is also a dance instructor and he's teaching different Latin dances as well as I think ballroom dancing and stuff right down in Brentwood's newest and most exciting fitness center, Raw Fitness Health Club, which is also, and I have to give him a plug, managed by one of the main founders, or I should say the founder of Hybrid Caribbean, Franz Jelizo. Hey Franz, if you're watching. And the second one is a piece of an interview by one of our models. You know I'm always plugging it every episode for the Hybrid Body magazine. That is Nikki Chau. Let me see if I can skip straight to her page and give you a very, very quick look at it. Very quick, because I actually want you all to buy the magazine. I don't want you all to get too much free information. But here we have Nikki, her little bio, her information, her 2 shots and everything. Hybrid Magazine has decided to take a conscious stance against body shaming. And we decided to do something a little bit different, especially in this culture where we, myself included, pose naked pictures, tasteful pictures, so you're not going to see the stuff that your children shouldn't see. Because what we want you to know is that we are there with you. Even those of us who are in the gym and who are working out and who are fit and who compete, because we also have 2 national athletes who pose in here. Tiana Guy, who is across in Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games as we speak, and Carew Singh, who does Olympic weightlifting for our beautiful Twin Island. Even those of us who compete professionally, those of us who are just gym hobbyists, such as April Suraj, and those of us who both love the fit world but also compete, like the young lady we just saw, Nikki Chau. She's an equestrian of sorts, We face issues also. If you're not too fat, you're too skinny. If you're not too skinny, you're too muscular. If you're not too muscular, you're lifting too much weight. You're lifting not enough weight. You're this, that, and you're that. You had the same experience. I had an experience once where I was deadlifting 465 pounds, and a woman came up to me, "What are you lifting all that weight for? What that good for?" Does it matter?
It does matter. It does matter.
So, I have my reasons, which I won't go into right now because we need to get back to our interview. But the reality is that we at Hybrid Caribbean believe that how somebody looks is not your business. It is not for you to comment on. It is not, you may have your opinions, but keep it to yourself. We strongly stand against any and all forms of body shaming. And some of us have literally put our bodies where our mouth is and taken a big stand. So what is your take on body shaming as a trainer and as somebody who went through that magnificent transformation?
I don't believe in body shaming. I really don't. Because, again, everybody has their own journey, has their own path that they're taking. And then some people, when they come to the gym, they have different goals that they're setting. So you don't assume that every person that comes to the gym is coming there to lose weight. You're not going to assume that everybody who's coming there to the gym is coming there, to look like a Barbie doll, or look like a Ken doll, or look like whatever. Right? Some people just come to the gym to just de-stress. So you have to take into consideration why are they there, and then work from there, right? So again, even coming back to the whole BMI thing, right? Caribbean women, for example, carry weight well, right? Big hips, big legs, right? You cannot just assume that everybody who is big because they eat a lot. Some people have hormone issues. Some people, they suffer with diabetes. Some people have there's whole different reasons why people are how they are. And you don't understand by telling somebody. Now, growing up, I was chubby.
Right.
I was chubby, I stammered, I was everything you could think of, I was. And I had to deal with the heckling, I had to deal with the fatigue and all that growing up. But it made me a better person
Right.
in the long run. So I mean, I've gone through it, I know what it feels like, and I don't do it. Simple.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly wish everybody would have that mentality, because a lot of people, like, their mentality is that I went through it, so you have to go through it too. And I think that your mentality is a much better one, quite frankly.
No, but,
You know?
but even like people who are slim, who have the perfect figure, as what most people think or would assume, they and all have issues as well too that they have to deal with. And we assume as well, because you look how you look, you're supposed to be like this.
Constantly hearing, and I'll openly say this, actually no, I wouldn't go there because it doesn't make sense, but I'm constantly hearing how they say, dog, what is bone is for dog, meat is for man, and whatever, when they're talking about skinny women and all kind of thing. I'm like,
To each his own.
to each his own, it's not your business, not
Each
your
his own,
damn business.
You have different genetics. You have different ethnic
Different-
backgrounds.
Yeah.
So that they have to different body types. Get used to it. Simple as that.
So, I want to get back into the regular part of the interview.
Okay, sorry,
But
what's
before
that?
I do that,
Sorry, little tangent. Sorry,
yeah,
little
yeah,
tangent.
it's a very important tangent. I asked for the tangent.
All right.
Before I do that, what I want to do is give you a copy of Hybrid Body Magazine as one of our treasured guests.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
We're happy to have you here. I'm having a wonderful time with this conversation, and that's your reward.
Thank you.
Yeah. So back to the interview. We were talking about different parts of training that people don't see as important, but are as important, as if not more important than the parts that you do see, the gym and all that stuff. We spoke about flexibility, and what I want to bring up now is rest.
Rest is important. Like, you have people that come to the gym every single day, and they work these similar body parts every single day, right? Now, that can work, but what it does is just lets the body adapt to the movement pattern.
Right.
It adapts to the weight you're using, but not much else.
Not going to really progress you
Right.
much.
Like, the objective, now when you finish do your workout, and again, as I say, you basically wreck your body, right? What happens is, over time, if you keep working like that, you're going to fall into the law of diminishing returns. So eventually what's going to happen is, instead of you getting 10 reps, you get 8 reps.
Right.
And then 6 reps. And then the body say, here, what's up? Partner, hold up. Take
Next
off
year
5.
you get an injury.
Take off 5.
Take off 5.
6 months in
Yeah.
a cast, basically. So rest is important because you need that recovery for both your psychological makeup as well as for your physical makeup. Because that is where the body actually sees growth, sees change.
Right.
So it's like how I would look at the pyramid. You have nutrition, you have rest, and then you have exercise. Exercise is important, but not as important as your rest and as your nutrition. So, it's kind of simple.
For those who don't know, weight gain and weight loss is primarily about your diet, because you may not know this, but the number of calories actually burnt in a workout aren't that many. You burn calories for sure. but it's not like you're burning thousands of calories in a single workout. You can burn anywhere from about 150 to 500 calories and feel absolutely burned. So what happens is that you combine this with good nutritional habits to gain or lose weight, and to gain or lose weight in a manner that's suited to you, right? You can literally use exercise to shape your body. Because I'm tired of hearing women, primarily women. You know, you hear from men too, but primarily women. I just want to lose the belly. I like my legs, I like my butt, I just want to lose the belly. And I'm like, here's what you do. You cannot spot reduce fat.
Exactly.
But if it is that you like your legs and your butt, what you're going to have to do is lift heavy and put muscle there to replace the fat that you're going to lose. Because you're going to lose fat throughout the entire body, including your legs and your butt. So you're going to have to replace that. If you're looking for the shape and whatever, you're going to have to replace that with muscle, which means going and lifting heavy. You know, you got to be prepared for that in particular.
But even so, right? Like if like it is basically a mathematical equation. When you break it down, if you want to gain weight, eat more. Eat more than what you expend. If you want to lose weight, eat less than you expend. If you want to maintain, you know, kind of make sure it's kind of like around the same. But again, it's
caloric surplus, caloric deficit, caloric balance.
Thank you. Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, sorry.
But it's easier said than done when it comes down, because like in theory it sounds easy, but in reality it's hard to do, especially living in the Caribbean where food tastes good and everybody wants to eat.
You know, there are those of us who would love to have roti every day, roti and pilau every day, but alas and alack.
No, like as I tell my clients, and also with myself as well too, because I consider myself a client of me. I see food primarily as fuel. So therefore, if it doesn't help me to run better, lift, or do anything that I want to do, then I don't eat it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Right? So over time, you start to get rid of or weed out foods that don't work for you. So you start adding, and then so you start eating less and less. I mean, I still do eat what they call the junk food. I call it high calorie, low nutrient food, as opposed to say low calorie, high nutrient foods like vegetables and stuff like that. So that's how I see it, and that's how I class food. So when you start breaking food down as to just what the basic nutrient value of it is, it becomes less and less, like, this isn't real good, but you just look at it as eat this, that, and the story.
Yeah. Well, how I look at it is similar, but I wouldn't use those words. I just look at it in terms of factoring it into your daily nutritional requirements.
That too.
So, our thing, right? I treat Carnival like a physique event. A physique like bodybuilding.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I train throughout the year to maintain a level of fitness and health. For Carnival, though, I want to look a little different.
Yeah.
So normally, and it's not really my goal to lose weight, but it just kind of ends up happening that way based on how I eat and everything. And I lose 10 to 15 pounds. And I tell people on a Saturday morning, I would eat 8 fried pies. Not aloo dal, fried dal pies. Or maybe aloo pies. And they wouldn't believe that I'm losing weight by doing that. And what I tell them is basically what I'm doing is I'm factoring this into my total nutritional requirements, which means that if I am eating these pies, I have to know that this is, as you would put it, high calorie, low nutrient meal, which means that I still need to find ways to get the nutrients in throughout the day, throughout the week, whatever it is, you know. So it's all factored in as part of an entire nutritional plan rather than as you say, calling it. Like I would still use the cliche term cheat meal and stuff,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
cheat day, because it's just easier for people to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
But instead of looking at it as a cheat day or whatever, it is just part of the entire nutritional plan,
Yeah.
factored in throughout the entire week or whatever, you know?
Yeah, it's like when you, how can I say that? Like, no, we see carnival differently.
Mm-hmm.
I see carnival as a marathon, as
Right.
as a long distance race.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually would carb load for carnival
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to now. I don't know. I will be again. I'll be training. I probably want to look good on the road, so I will try to cut and try to keep my calories down. But I'll also be trying to factor in. I don't want to like if I'm having an alcohol beverage, I'm not going to like get drunk or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or or feel faint on the road. So I carb load instead. But for me, I find that when as with you, when I eat a lot, I end up losing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because the more energy you have, the more you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up pushing yourself more when you're in the gym, working out and all that. So again, it comes back down to what, like, there's like more than one way to
Yeah.
get to your goal. So there is no hard and fast that is this or that or
definitely,
the other.
Definitely.
You know,
You know,
so
my carb loading only happens like the weekend. The weekend
Yeah.
before. Not for the 2 months before.
no, well, that's the thing is that when I say I carb load, like I would probably have like I have my normal set of carbs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday I just ramp it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and then back it off again. So there is that cycle that that goes through. So like there's a lot of different terms that we're talking about, like carb loading, cycling, all these different things. A lot of people don't. I mean, they hear these things happen all the time, and being banned about when it comes to dieting and all that. And most people don't really understand it. And as I tell clients, you know, we have different types of diets. We have the IF. That's for those people who don't know it, intermittent fasting. You have the Mediterranean diet, you have the Atkins diet, you have the Saltfish diet, you have the Protein Plus diet, you have diet galore. And all of those are geared towards weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you just cut your caloric intake, you will achieve the same thing.
Right. So I actually have to add something to that. Here's something that people don't realize. I went on this diet and I lost weight. I went on that diet and lost weight. All of these diets seek to restrict your calories in some way. There are some that seek to restrict your carbs. What happens then? Most of the time you don't actually replace those carbs with sufficient calories from protein and fats and whatever. So you end up cutting calories. Intermittent fasting in particular actually restricts your eating to a few hours in a day, which means that literally you can only eat until you're full. And once you're full, you can't eat anymore. And when you get full within those few hours in a day, and you don't eat for the rest of the day, it means now that you are still cutting your calories. So a lot of these, if not, in fact, all of these diets literally seek to do exactly what Sean is talking about, cutting your calories and creating a caloric deficit. But they have different ways to do it, different marketing schemes, by calling it this diet and that diet, and they target this nutritional food group and that macro and this, and they say, okay, and this is it, and this is the best thing to do, and it's all, you know, marketing schemes to get you involved.
Yeah.
So, but you're just at the end of the day cutting calories, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, next thing is something we've been touching on for the entire interview. You're a trainer,
Yes.
personal trainer. We saw the transformation picture, and you know, you went through your journey, you decided this is what you want to do, you lost the weight, you gained the muscle and all that. At what point did you decide, hey, I want to share my knowledge and experience with others and help them to improve their lives also?
Good question. I never thought about it like that, to be honest with you, because when I went through this thing, it was just for me. And then I was getting like kudos, people saying, hey, good job, well done, Sean, well done, Sean. And then they ask you, how you do that? What you do? Like, how come I can't do this? Da, da, da. And you have to realize that a lot of people want to know, or they seek knowledge, but they just don't know where to go. And that was where I decided, look, here what, let me just throw my hat in the ring. And it is the most fulfilling thing for me to see somebody transform.
Right.
You know, to see them go from point A to point B, whatever the goal is. And that is, I think that keeps me going, if I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's just like the passing on of like knowledge, because as I tell everybody, right, my job is not to hoard knowledge, but it's to share knowledge, right? I don't expect people.
Knowledge is free after all.
Yeah, I mean, like I tell my clients, like, ask questions. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the purpose of this? Why this and not that? Ask questions. You go, you do some research. Sean, what about this? What about that? Why? So what is this? What is that? Because nobody knows your body better than you. So the more you understand about yourself, you can train yourself. Because my thing is, one of my slogans I have with my clients is, I'm training you for life, not for life. Meaning that if it is after a while you want to go on and train yourself, or you want to go on, I mean, I have a couple of clients who actually went on to become personal trainers. Yeah. And I was like, I'm proud of them for that.
Yeah.
You know, because
I know the feeling.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, funny shit, right? I had a conversation with a client yesterday. We were talking about nutrition, and she sat down there and she began breaking down for me why she not losing weight as fast as she should be. And she started saying, well, you know, I'm not doing this, I'm doing that. I was like, and this is me going like, wow, you actually understand everything. It's like, yes, good, I'll do it. And you say, yeah, and so now it's a level of pride that you get when people could tell you, hey, Sean, this is why you're not doing it. Because I tell people this, right? We live in a global, in a small world where everything is like, you could be in Trinidad today, London tomorrow, New York the next day, working. So you can't be going to every place you go to, you have to go and look for a trainer. I want to, ask questions. Learn why you do what you do. Learn how you do what you do. And for what reason. So you could go anywhere in the world and train yourself. You can go anywhere and understand what is this food, what is this, what is that, what the other, and how it works for you. Right?
So, moving on to, again, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we touch on it a little bit throughout, and then we kind of going to focus on it now. As a trainer, and as somebody who is just generally into fitness, I want to ask you two things. How did pandemic lockdown, restrictions, whatever, affect your training and diet? And secondly, what advice would you give to somebody who was also affected in whatever way and is really trying their best to get back on track?
Okay, well, let's start with the beginning. Right. I bought, when they first had the lockdown, I bought enough food for a month.
Right.
After 2 weeks, I was back in the grocery looking to buy them, because I was like sitting on, watching TV, online, eating, trying to figure out, trying to sort out my online training and all that kind of thing. And it's like, so you're just trying to figure out, and while you're just doing that, you're sitting down, snacking, eating, and you just realize, wait, why am I eating all this food? I don't need it, you know. So it was like, that was me, like, for me, like, that was my aha moment where I said, hey, I'm going to have to get back into this thing serious. So set up a Zoom training. So for my clients, we train with FaceTime. Some clients say, we went to, that was before we were told that we couldn't use the outdoors. We'll go in the gardens and train, we'll go in savannah and train, we go anywhere where I had space and train. You know, I have some equipment at home, so it's carry it, train, whatever. And then when when we couldn't go do it anymore, train in the backyard, you know. That's where so for me, training was with bodyweight, calisthenics, TRX. I have a bar, squat rack, weights at home. So I was doing a little something as well too. Not as heavy as I would normally go, but I still was doing something.
Something to at least keep up.
Yeah, and then I would also carry the weights by some clients and train them there as well too. You know, so like you learn so I could use resistance bands, TRX, kettlebells, like bar by itself, plates, different types of things to kind of still get some fitness in, right? And then when you could take a chance, and go for a quick run up and down the streets, like 10 times, just try and make a mile, and so I call that judge. And it was tough, but it forced you to be innovative.
Right.
It forced you to have to think outside the box. Think, you know, what can I do to get what I need to get without having all the stuff that a gym has. You know? So it was fun, actually.
And the advice that you have for people trying to get back on track?
Don't stop. Simple, don't stop. Because the minute you stop, the minute you think that you can't do it, that's when you can't do it. Right? Your mind, like you are as your mind goes. So if you tell yourself you can't do it, then you're not going to do it. Right? Like, it may sound cliche-ish, but you have to have that mental toughness. You have to have that way to hold say, look here, water. Even though you have no carnival, you have to assume you have carnival around the corner. So you have a goal to work towards. You set yourself a goal to work towards. You say, okay, I weigh myself, I'm like 10 pounds for weight. All right, I want to lose 1 pound a week.
Right.
And so you start chipping away at it, chipping.
Yeah.
You just have your mind fit.
Goal setting.
Yeah, simple. You know, seems again simple yet hard at the same time.
Correct. I like to say that the solution is always simple but never easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, but you gotta get that determination to do it anyway. You know.
A bad mind.
A bad mind. Yeah.
Bad mind.
Speaking of bad mind, you got involved in some things that require some true bad mind. Some adventure races, hardcore Caribbean when they used to have it. For those who don't know, it's a long distance obstacle course. I'm like 11 miles through bush and hills and thing, and you have to go through ice cold water and climb up this rope and climb through tires and a whole bunch of stuff, right? Then there's Fusion, which is just a trail run or a series of trail runs. But the terrain is quite difficult, and of course it's for time, which means it's not a regular stroll. You're actually pushing yourself. You know?
Also to like on each of the on at least two of the runs, you have to stop and ask the questions.
Right. So
like,
there's a mental challenge.
Yeah.
While you're tired and you're in the middle of brain fog because you're running through the bush. Like a crazy person,
yes.
And you have to somehow stop and have enough cognition to actually focus and answer a question.
No, like it's like a full-on exam.
Mm-hmm.
You have like 20 questions, and the questions are multiple choice, and it's about the area where you are.
Right.
Like I remember one time we did one in Tobago, and one of the questions was actually a Sudoku puzzle. Like in the middle of the bush, in the rain, you have to solve a Sudoku puzzle. And if you get it wrong, you get 5 minutes added on to your time. So it's like you have to get it right.
Yeah.
You know, or if not, just get it all wrong and just try to run fast.
Yeah. So my question here is, well, I guess twofold. What made you decide? No, I've never done fusion, but I've done hardcore Caribbean. And I know why I did it, but what made you decide to get into these types of events?
Just because. It's like, literally like, I saw Tough Mudder
Mm-hmm.
and the Spartan race, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were doing the hardcore Caribbean, I was saying, well, this looks like that. I could try it, you know, because my goal is to one day be able to do one of those races, actually.
Right.
So I did it. It was fun, you know. I had a blast. I actually trained a team to do it, and that was probably like the most pride I felt in actually doing it, in that seeing people who didn't think that they could do it, and that was fun. Fusion, I didn't know, actually, I didn't know what fusion was properly until I did it, and I did it twice, and yeah, it was different. It was a different challenge. It was a different set of stress on the body. It was fun in a sadistic kind of way, but it was still fun. Yeah, that's my kind of humor. And but it's like, so like one of my teammates who I did fusion with, we were looking at this race on ESPN. It was a 1 week adventure race. You know, see a team of like 4 people, and they're running through like a desert, into a mountain, into this, into that, into the other. It's like, yo, I want to do that one of these days. It's like, show on you by yourself. I was like, okay, well, you know, you can try, you know. Like, no. But it's like, I am amazed at what the human body can do.
Oh yeah.
And I try to push myself all the time. And I think the most I ever felt like out of it was doing fusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I felt the most stress ever. So it's a kind of high that I got. Yeah. And and that's what I want to kind of go back to. You know, lifting is fun. Doing half marathons are fun. But you know, that kind of thing is like different, and it again is seeing how far you can push yourself and knowing that you can conquer it.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is where, you know, that thrill comes for me.
You have to find it deep down inside. Find that hidden little gem deep down inside. Because I mean, and I say it like that because I think you had made the point earlier about your clients who never thought they could do this and they could do that, and you see them conquering it. And it's the same thing with these kinds of events. You know, you start off wondering, well, I wonder if I could do that, boy. And when you're done, because you know, lifting certain weights and that stuff no longer does it fit. You've been there. You've done that. You've done personal best after personal best after personal best. You know, new PR. But then you meet up something that you have not done before. Even if you've done it, you haven't done this specifically before. Because for those who don't know, for Hardcore Caribbean, they changed the venue a number of times, as well as the obstacles. And fusion is different, either a different trail or a different combination of trails every year.
The first one I did was in Chagaramas. That was the starting race was 2 of our team members had to run 1 mile down to get a 20-pound pipe, run back up, and when they came back up, that was how they staggered the start. Then we had to do a 7K run in the bush. We had to go uphill, downhill, through, like I said, through rivers and all that.
Right.
Then, before we even got to the end, we had to stop in the middle of the bush to answer questions. And then from there, get back in. Whenever the last team got in, we had like an hour rest.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came in last, you had the least amount of rest possible. Then you had to go run from Summer Park down to the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
Swim across from the boardwalk from Pier 1 to the kayak center. Run back into the golf course. Go up to the ball, through the bush. And then back down. Then at the ball, we had to answer questions. Then go back down. And then finish with a 4K run. So it's that type of stress on your body is something that was new to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this thing's serious.
Unfortunately, due to the lockdown and stuff, fusion is not as challenging anymore because they started doing fusion light to accommodate for the fewer people and the different people who are facing certain challenges. However, I anticipate that Fusion 2023 will go right back to full-blown insanity.
Yeah.
You know? That is mostly it, I think. But we do have this one last segment, quick question and answer segment, something that I affectionately call the last rep.
Okay.
It's just 10 simple questions, nothing too scary.
So
Think you're ready for it?
So you see.
You ready for that?
Yeah, no choice.
Alright, cool. Let's see, and I'm going to use a term that you may not like, but favorite junk food?
Wontons. Chicken wontons.
Squats or deadlifts?
Deadlifts.
That one seems to be a little challenging.
Because either one.
Legs or chest?
Chest, because it's my weakest body part.
Okay. When you're feeling down and you say, I'm going to go to do an exercise to pick me up, what's that pick me up exercise?
Picking myself up and going.
You know what? Actually, that's a very unique answer, but I love it. Just getting, the reality is, guys, that sometimes when you're feeling really down in the dumps, it's not a physical fatigue, it's a mental and emotional fatigue, and sometimes it's just hard to get up and go. Really, really hard. So even getting up and going is a step towards changing your mood and whatnot. If there were one person in the world that you could either be trained by or work out with, who would that fancy trainer or workout partner be?
Rich Froning.
You know what? I can't blame you. Rich Froning is I don't even think he competes anymore, but he's
Actually, no, he does in teams.
Okay. He is the how many ever times
4.
consecutive reigning world CrossFit champion.
4.
He's insanely fit and everything.
Yeah.
Favorite workout music?
It depends. It could be classical music, slows, No, okay, here's why, right? When I come into the gym, I come into the gym hype.
Mm-hmm.
So I need something to calm me down.
Okay.
So I either play slows, like when you see me lifting, most time I lifting to slows or to some classical music. So
I have to say that's the first time in between these first 2 seasons that I've ever heard that as an answer. Everybody is soca, hip hop, or dancehall. It's the first time classical and slows.
yeah. Andrea Bocelli,
Big name, man. Man start off with fire, man.
Yeah, yes.
We started all of these Gianni Pavarotti and all of them, you know.
Not really.
Not really?
No,
Yeah.
not him. But yeah, some Mozart, some thing here and there.
Yeah, Andrea Bocelli is our boss.
Yeah.
Cardio or weights?
If I choose between the two,
Yeah, if you at any given time you say this.
weights.
Right.
Weights.
Favorite sport to play?
Basketball.
Protein supplements or diets?
Diet.
Last question, biggest question, toughest question we have. Toughest question. You ready for it?
Yes.
TV or cinema?
Cinema. It's like TV.
Like
What
I
is that?
said.
What is that?
Like I said, that's the toughest question. I think out of, this is season 12 of 2 seasons, out of 24 episodes, I think only one person actually answered that quickly. Everyone else seems stumped.
Because it's like, what is TV? I mean, everything's online now, so. And then to like how my day goes, I hardly ever watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
So is either online or cinema.
Fair enough. And with that, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man, it was enjoyable, it was fun, it was informative, it was interesting. It was good to hear your perspectives on some of these issues. Thank you for humoring us with the last rep. You know, it's just a little lighthearted, fun, you know. And thanks to all of our listeners, all of our viewers who have watched this or who will watch this later online. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you know. Hit the subscribe button like you want to hit your trainer.
No, don't.
You know. And when you're subscribed, you'll be notified of all of the latest updates, all the latest videos, whether you go live or we post new content. So you'll be constantly updated with new content right here on YouTube and on Facebook. Because those of you who are watching on one platform, just know that we are also on the other. We also have our audio podcast on both Spotify and Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. Which is it, Anderson? Both, right. So you can access us, Fitness Focus, on any of those podcast platforms to hear the audio of this. You know, maybe this is something you can listen to while you work out. Some motivation. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks again to Sean.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Anderson for being our producer for this season. We will be back sometime soon with all new guests, all new setting, all new energy, all new excitement, all new information. See you then. Again.
Yeah, man.